How's it going, everybody? The Mega March sale just started on PlayStation. It's running from now until March 25th, and there's a ton of absolute bangers that are on sale for up to 80% off. I've put together a list of 100 of the top games you can get at a deep discount right now, so let's get straight into it. For $9, 40% off, Bully is a hilarious and rebellious open-world adventure that mixes Rockstar's signature humor, original gameplay, and a satirical, over-the-top look at school life full of mischief and chaos. You play as Jimmy Hopkins, a mischievous teenager navigating the corrupt and chaotic Bulworth Academy, standing up to bullies, scheming against rivals, and dealing with the absurdities of students, teachers, and faculty. It's an 87 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Shadow of the Colossus is a rebuilt masterpiece that reimagines the PS2 classic with stunning visuals, improved performance, and a hauntingly beautiful atmosphere that feels both nostalgic and entirely new again. You play as a lone wanderer who enters a forbidden land in a desperate attempt to resurrect a loved one, striking a deal that sends you to hunt down 16 colossal beings scattered across desolate landscapes. It's a 92 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, God of War 3 Remastered delivers Kratos' explosive quest for revenge in brutal Greek mythology, fully remastered at 1080p and 60 FPS with sharper visuals, improved lighting, and smoother performance throughout. You'll climb Mount Olympus, battle towering gods and legendary monsters, and solve environmental puzzles using the Blades of Exile alongside powerful magic and devastating new weapons. It's a 92 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Pentiment is a beautifully illustrated narrative adventure set in 16th century Bavaria, blending historical intrigue and political upheaval with handcrafted art inspired by illuminated manuscripts and early printed books. You play as a master artist caught in scandals, investigations, and social conflicts, navigating a world where every dialogue choice and alliance shapes the unfolding story in surprising and meaningful ways. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 80% off, the Tomb Raider Definitive Survivor Trilogy is the ultimate collection of Lara Croft's origin adventures, combining all the definitive editions of the critically acclaimed prequels into one epic journey. Traverse the mysterious island of Yamatai, brave the frozen Siberian tundra, and explore the perilous mountains of Peru as Lara hones her survival skills and faces deadly enemies. It's an 84 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 95 hours to get all 3 platinums. For $6, 75% off, Blasphemous is a punishing action platformer that combines fast-paced hack-and-slash combat with a dark, haunting narrative set in the cursed land of Custodia. You play as the sole survivor of the Silent Sorrow Massacre, trapped in a cycle of death and rebirth, seeking to uncover the origin of the miracle while exploring sprawling, non-linear environments filled with grotesque monsters, deadly traps, and epic bosses. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $10, 67% off, the Talos Principle 2 is a thought-provoking first-person puzzle adventure that expands on the original's philosophical themes with increasingly mind-bending challenges and morally complex choices. Explore a mysterious megastructure in a world where biological humanity is extinct but its culture lives on through robots, using abilities like gravity manipulation, mind transference, and more to solve clever puzzles. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Wipeout Omega Collection brings together all the content from Wipeout HD, Wipeout HD Fury, and Wipeout 2048, fully enhanced for modern consoles. Experience high-speed anti-gravity racing across futuristic tracks, mastering tight turns, jumps, and intense combat while utilizing an array of weapons, power-ups, and advanced tactics to dominate the leaderboard and outmaneuver every opponent in adrenaline-fueled races. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 is a fast-paced Musou action game that throws you into massive battles inspired by the world of One Piece and its legendary pirate crews. Built around large-scale combat and destructible environments, you unleash powerful attacks, send waves of enemies flying, and recreate iconic moments from the series while fighting across chaotic battlefields filled with smoke, debris, and non-stop action. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $6, 60% off, Final Fantasy VII is a legendary genre-defining turn-based RPG that follows Cloud Strife and the rebel group Avalanche in their fight against the corrupt Shinra Corporation and the vengeful Sephiroth. Journey across an expansive world powered by Mako energy, from the industrial sprawl of Midgard to snowy mountain peaks, ancient temples, and hidden laboratories, while forging deep bonds with unforgettable characters. It's a 92 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $10, 67% off, The Plucky Squire is a charming, whimsical action-adventure that follows the magical journey of Jot, a storybook hero who discovers a three-dimensional world beyond the pages of his book. After the villain Humgrump throws him out of the story to change its fate forever, Jot must jump between 2D pages and 3D environments, solving puzzles and tackling creative challenges to restore the tale's happy ending. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $7, 50% off, Blood Omen 2 Legacy of Kain is a dark action-adventure where the vampire Lord Kain awakens centuries after being overthrown, seeking vengeance and power in a world that has nearly wiped out his kind. As Kain hunts those responsible, you unleash brutal melee attacks with heavy weapons, wield supernatural dark gifts like stealth and berserk powers, and drain enemies' blood while battling through grim cities and haunted lands. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $7, 75% off, the Unravel Yarny bundle includes Unravel and Unravel 2, charming physics-based puzzle platformers where you guide lovable Yarny characters crafted from a single thread of yarn that slowly unravel as you progress. In Unravel, experience a heartfelt solo journey filled with clever puzzles, while Unravel 2 introduces co-op gameplay, allowing you to create a second Yarny to solve puzzles together. It's a 79 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 30 hours to get both platinums. For $10, 55% off, Angerfoot is a lightning-fast, bass-thumping, over-the-top action shooter about kicking down doors, smashing through walls, and tearing through the chaotic streets of a crime-ridden city filled with relentless enemies. You kick, shoot, and smash your way through waves of gangsters while unlocking wild sneakers, powerful weapons, and ridiculous upgrades that reshape how you clear each frantic, high-speed level. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Dragon Age Inquisition Game of the Year Edition is an epic RPG that blends rich storytelling, strategic combat, and a vast, immersive world full of danger, intrigue, and memorable characters across multiple sprawling regions. Featuring deep tactical combat and massive exploration, this edition also includes all expansions, Jaws of Akan, The Descent, and Trespasser, plus the added Deluxe Edition upgrade. It's an 88 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $9, 85% off, Samurai Shodown marks the return of the iconic fighting series, featuring 13 beloved fighters and 3 new warriors as they clash in intense, high-stakes battles on legendary stages. With its signature single-strike combat and cinematic art style, each fight delivers fast-paced, strategic duels both online and offline, while the revolutionary AI system creates ghost clones that challenge you with the tactics of top players. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off, Unpacking is a Zen puzzle decorating game where you pull treasured belongings out of moving boxes and organize them into warm, lived-in spaces that quietly reveal the life behind the objects. You'll place books on shelves, hang clothes, and arrange personal keepsakes across 8 different moves, creating a seamless blend of tactile block-fitting puzzles and environmental storytelling that grows richer as the years pass. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $7, 50% off, Journey is a visually stunning and emotionally captivating adventure that takes you across vast deserts, ancient ruins, and mysterious landscapes in search of forgotten histories and transcendence beyond imagination. Travel alone or encounter a fellow player in a unique online co-op experience, communicating wordlessly as you explore and overcome obstacles together with subtle, graceful interaction. It's a 93 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $10, 55% off, Angry Birds VR Isle of Pigs is an immersive VR action puzzle game where Red, Chuck, Bomb, and the Blues team up to recover stolen eggs from the greedy green pigs across challenging environments. Explore levels spanning beaches, cliffs, snowy slopes, and spooky locations, using classic slingshot mechanics and each bird's unique abilities to destroy structures, earn high scores, and face off against the boss. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $10, 80% off, Tekken 7 is a fast-paced, competitive fighting game that brought the iconic franchise to next-gen consoles for the first time with stunning Unreal Engine 4 visuals and richly detailed arenas. You'll master a diverse roster of fighters, each with unique moves, devastating combos, and distinct playstyles, while engaging in intense one-on-one battles enhanced by new mechanics, rage arts, and strategic counterattacks. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off, South Park: The Stick of Truth is a hilarious RPG where you join Stan, Kyle, Cartman, and Kenny on an epic quest to become cool, battling underpants gnomes, hippies, and other outrageous enemies. Customize your character with countless combinations, recruit classic South Park friends, and wield magical weapons and mystical armor in turn-based combat that perfectly captures the irreverent humor of the series. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Killzone Shadowfall is a first-person shooter set 30 years after Killzone 3, where you play as an elite soldier and master spy tasked with preserving a fragile peace between the Helghast and Vectans. Explore stunning environments filled with cinematic set pieces, deviously smart enemies, and high-stakes combat across a city teetering on the brink of war. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, and there's unfortunately a number of online trophies that can't be unlocked anymore, making the platinum unobtainable. For $9, 40% off, Manhunt is a stealth-based horror action game where you play as a man forced into a deadly game of survival in Carcer City, a decaying Rust Belt town where violence is entertainment and no one is safe. Run, hide, and fight to survive against ruthless gangs, corrupt law enforcement, and hunters who kill for sport, using improvised weapons, the environment, and stealth tactics to outsmart and eliminate your pursuers. It's a 77 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $9, 87% off, Saturnalia is a third-person roguelite horror adventure where you control 4 characters exploring an ancient Sardinian village steeped in folklore and experiencing an intergenerational story full of dark secrets. The village constantly reconfigures itself after each death, forcing you to use each character's unique abilities to uncover new areas and piece together the narrative in a non-linear, immersive world. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $7, 90% off, the Shadow Bundle is an epic action-adventure collection featuring both Middle-earth games, Shadow of Mordor Game of the Year Edition and Shadow of War Definitive Edition. Players conquer fortresses, build their personal orc armies, explore open-world Mordor, and experience story expansions, nemesis updates, and new playable characters across massive battles and rich narrative campaigns. It's an 84 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 65 hours to get both platinums. For $9, 85% off, Far Cry 5 is an open-world first-person shooter set in Hope County, Montana, battling the fanatical Eden's Gate cult led by the charismatic Joseph Seed, while sparking a full-scale resistance across a lawless rural landscape. Explore the world solo or in 2-player co-op, liberating regions in any order using a wide mix of guns, vehicles, and animal companions like Cheeseburger and Boomer across forests, farms, and small towns. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $9, 85% off, Scarlet Nexus is a futuristic action RPG set in a distant world where humanity's discovery of a psionic hormone grants psychic abilities that reshape society forever. Elite psionics form the Other Suppression Force to defend what's left of civilization when brain-hungry creatures descend from the sky, and you'll experience this battle through the eyes of 2 gifted soldiers whose intertwined journeys unravel a mind-bending story. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $9, 70% off, Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered is a story-driven action-adventure following an assassin turned Templar during the French and Indian War. You'll hunt former allies, uncover far-reaching conspiracies, and navigate a morally complex world of shifting loyalties as you explore detailed North American environments while commanding the Morrigan in naval combat featuring enhanced weapons and dynamic sea encounters. It's a 74 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Moss is a single-player VR action-adventure puzzle game where you guide a courageous mouse through an enchanting world filled with hidden secrets, enemies, and ancient magic. What begins as a simple journey evolves into an epic quest as Quill discovers a mysterious glass relic and sets out to save her uncle, requiring clever puzzle solving, engaging combat, and exploration of beautifully crafted environments. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $6, 70% off, Far Cry 4 is an open-world first-person shooter that drops you into the stunning yet dangerous region of Thurrot, ruled by the charismatic and ruthless dictator Pagan Min. Explore a vast landscape filled with enemy outposts, unpredictable wildlife encounters, and dynamic side activities, using a huge arsenal of weapons, vehicles, and animals to approach every situation your own way, whether stealthy or explosively chaotic. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Astrobot Rescue Mission is an inventive VR-exclusive platformer that puts you in the role of the heroic Captain Bot on a thrilling mission to save fellow bots scattered across colorful, imaginative, and intricately designed worlds. Navigate dynamic levels packed with clever puzzles, hidden collectibles, and tricky enemies, while using the immersive capabilities of PlayStation VR to look, aim, and interact with the environment. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Alien Isolation: The Collection is a chilling survival horror experience that includes the full game and 7 additional content packs, blending tense stealth gameplay with an atmosphere of relentless dread and heart-pounding suspense. You play as Amanda Ripley 15 years after the events of Alien, unraveling the truth behind her mother's disappearance while navigating a desperate, panicked world. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $10, 67% off, Mega Man Zero and ZX Legacy Collection is a 6-game bundle that brings together the full Zero and ZX storyline in one tight package, delivering fast 2D action, precise combat, and challenging boss encounters. You'll slash, shoot, and chain mobility skills through all 6 campaigns, while unlocking art, music, visual filters, and handy assists like casual scenario mode and save assists that make the experience smoother. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Timespinner is a hand-drawn 2D action platformer where you play as a girl transported to a strange world after a family is murdered and the ancient Timespinner device destroyed, seeking revenge against the Lockheim Empire. You'll manipulate time to traverse between the barren present and lush past, combine spells and melee attacks, and train familiars to aid you in challenging combat and boss encounters. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $9, 40% off, Red Dead Revolver is an arcade-style third-person shooter set in a vast, lawless Wild West driven by revenge and justice. You play as a hardened bounty hunter using precision gunplay, dead-eye duels, and fast-paced combat across stylized, score-based levels that emphasize action over realism while delivering a classic, pulpy tale of vengeance on the untamed frontier filled with ruthless shootouts. It's a 75 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $7, 65% off, The Mummy Demastered is a 2D, non-linear action adventure that throws you into a thrilling, 16-bit inspired battle against the undead as an elite agent tasked with defending humanity from terrifying supernatural forces. Wield an array of weapons, upgrades, and magical artifacts while exploring sprawling levels, solving clever puzzles, and facing relentless hordes of supernatural enemies led by the powerful Princess Amenet. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $9, 40% off, Max Payne is a gritty, story-driven third-person shooter following a fugitive cop framed for murder, struggling to clear his name while uncovering the truth behind his slain family amid New York's violent streets during a brutal, unforgiving blizzard. You navigate dark urban environments, utilizing the iconic bullet time mechanic to dodge bullets and unleash cinematic gunplay that redefine the genre. It's an 89 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 25 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $7, 75% off, Far Cry 3 Classic Edition is a first-person shooter set on the dangerous Rook Islands, surviving against pirates, mercenaries, and deadly wildlife while exploring a lush, living ecosystem. You can tackle missions stealthily with knives and silenced weapons or go full assault with guns, explosives, and vehicles, while side missions, crafting, and outpost liberation expand gameplay and offer endless replayability. It's an 89 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $10, 67% off, Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection is a definitive fighting game compilation celebrating 3 decades of the iconic franchise, featuring 12 titles from the Street Fighter 1, 2, 3, and Alpha series. Relive the classic arcade experience with online arcade mode, or challenge friends in online lobbies across 4 of the most definitive entries, mastering unique fighters, combos, and special moves. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $10, 60% off, World of Final Fantasy is a charming monster collecting RPG where twins Rain and Lan journey through the world of Grimoire, capturing iconic Final Fantasy creatures and stacking them into strategic monster towers. Explore colorful regions, battle using a unique stacking system, evolve captured mirages into stronger forms, and encounter familiar heroes and villains from across the Final Fantasy universe. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. For $9, 40% off, The Warriors is a gritty third-person beat-em-up that adapts the cult classic film into a story-driven journey through the streets of 1979 New York, filled with neon-lit alleys, dark subway tunnels, and chaotic rooftops. Fight your way across the city as the wrongly accused Warriors, brawling rival gangs with fists and raw street tactics while switching between characters and surviving relentless ambushes. It's an 84 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $10, 60% off, Yakuza Like a Dragon Hero Edition is an RPG where you play a low-ranking Yakuza betrayed by the man he trusted most, rising from obscurity to become a hero while uncovering the shocking truth behind his family's destruction. This Hero Edition also includes the Job Set and Management Mode Set DLC, offering expanded gameplay, strategic depth, and a fully immersive, action-packed city life experience. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. For $7, 75% off, the Dark Pictures anthology, House of Ashes, is a cinematic, choice-driven horror game where every decision shapes the story, delivering tense, branching narratives full of dread, suspense, and shocking twists. A military unit and CIA operative investigate a suspected chemical weapons facility in Iraq, only to be trapped beneath the desert in the ruins of a buried Sumerian temple, awakening a deadly ancient threat. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Moss Book 2 is a charming action-adventure where Quill is hunted by those seeking the powerful glass she protects, guiding her to save the beautifully crafted world of Moss from a dark and relentless threat. You'll explore the hexed castle of the Arcane, overcoming dangerous terrain and battling enemies twisted in fire and steel, all while forming bonds with new allies, reconnecting with old friends, and uncovering hidden secrets. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $9, 70% off, Romancing Saga 3 is an RPG classic making its Western debut, where you choose one of 8 unique protagonists to embark on an epic, destiny-shaping adventure shaped by your choices. Experience optimized HD graphics, additional scenarios, and a New Game Plus feature, while navigating a narrative filled with powerful enemies, ancient mysteries, and morally complex decisions that determine the fate of humanity. It's an 83 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $9, 70% off, new Super Lucky's Tale is a colorful 3D platformer where Lucky the Fox journeys through the magical Book of Ages to stop the sorcerer Jinx and recover its stolen pages. Explore expansive hub worlds, tackle side-scrolling challenge stages, and collect hundreds of hidden items, while using Lucky's jumps, borrowing, and tail swipes to defeat enemies, uncover secrets, and face off against the villainous Kitty Litter family. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off, Mega Man X Legacy Collection is a definitive compilation of the classic action platforming series, where players control Mega Man X as he battles deadly mavericks across 4 iconic titles, X, X2, X3, and X4. Dash, wall jump, and acquire enemy weapons while navigating fast-paced levels, mastering boss fights, unlocking new content in X Challenge mode, and exploring a museum of rare art, merchandise, and nostalgic commercials. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, the Valkyria Chronicles Remastered and Valkyria Chronicles 4 bundle is a tactical JRPG collection set during a fictionalized World War-era conflict. Both games blend turn-based strategy with real-time movement as you command squads across hand-painted battlefields, manage action points, and balance positioning, unit roles, and limited resources under constant battlefield pressure. It's an 86 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 100 hours to get both platinums. For $6, 80% off, Journey to the Savage Planet, Employee of the Month Edition, is a goofy first-person adventure where you're dumped on a vibrant alien world by the incompetent Kindred Aerospace to determine if it's suitable for humanity. This definitive version runs at 60 FPS and includes all DLC, letting you explore 4 lively biomes full of odd creatures and humorous surprises using crafted tools like jet boots, grapples, and throwable gadgets. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $6, 75% off, Vanquish is a fast-paced sci-fi shooter where you play a space DARPA agent tasked with infiltrating the solar-powered colony Providence after it's taken over by a mutinous faction using destructive technology to devastate Earth's cities. You'll engage in high-octane combat against legions of futuristic foes, utilizing the experimental blade system and acrobatic maneuvers to disable the threat to humanity's survival. It's an 84 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Street Fighter V Champion Edition is a premier fighting game featuring a roster of 40 diverse fighters, including Ryu, Chun-Li, and Guile, across multiple iconic stages. Players master unique fighting styles, chain combos, and execute special moves, while facing rivals in intense matches that demand precision, timing, adaptability, and split-second decision-making in both casual and competitive online settings. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 150 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, the Capcom Beat 'em Up Bundle is a collection of 7 classic cooperative arcade games from Capcom's Golden Arcade era. Players battle waves of enemies in Final Fight, Captain Commando, and Knights of the Round, chaining powerful combos, mastering each character's unique moves, and dodging attacks from diverse enemies like Mad Gear gangsters, robots, and knights across iconic levels. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $10, 75% off, Klonoa Phantasy Reverie Series is a remastered collection of 3D side-scrolling action platformers featuring Klonoa Door to Phantomile and Klonoa 2 Lunatea's Veil. Journey through vibrant, dreamlike worlds, solve environmental puzzles, and defeat quirky enemies using Klonoa's ring and wind-based abilities, blending precise platforming, clever mechanics, and exploration with hidden paths and collectibles. It's an 86 average on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $7, 65% off, Abzu is a serene underwater exploration adventure where players dive into a vibrant ocean world filled with life, mystery, and ancient secrets. Swim gracefully through stunning aquatic environments, interact with schools of fish that dynamically respond to your movement, and uncover hidden ruins while experiencing a relaxing, visually striking journey inspired by the creators of Journey. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $5, 83% off, LEGO City Undercover is an action-adventure where you play a police officer going undercover to stop the escaped criminal Rex Fury and end his citywide crime spree. Players investigate more than 20 unique districts, drive vehicles, and bust car thieves while navigating busy streets, solving major puzzles, and chasing criminals through rooftops, alleys, and bustling plazas across the sprawling LEGO City metropolis. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $7, 70% off, Romancing Saga 2 is a tactical RPG where players control multiple generations of rulers in the Varanus Empire and lead them against the legendary 7 heroes. Players engage in battles using weapons, martial arts, and magic, while mastering battle formations, tempering weapons, and recruiting allies to strengthen their empire, defend key cities, and confront dangerous enemy commanders across diverse regions. It's a 76 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. For $8, 80% off, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is a tag team fighting game where heroes and villains unite to stop Ultron Sigma from wiping out all biological life. Assemble dream teams from both universes, harness the power of the Infinity Stones to alter battle mechanics mid-fight, and clash in cinematic 2v2 fights across stages inspired by Avengers Tower and other fused worlds pulled from both franchises in explosive showdowns. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $9, 70% off, Saga Scarlet Grace Ambitions is a tactical RPG where players explore a world left in turmoil after a fallen god has been defeated, sparking rebellion and uncertainty across the Empire. Players follow Urpina, Taria, and Balmont as they call on their might, travel vast regions, and engage in events that shape the fate of nations, uncovering hidden dungeons, recruiting allies, and unlocking powerful abilities along the way. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 150 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Desperados 3 is a tactical stealth action prequel where John Cooper and his crew track down enemies across a dangerous Wild West journey filled with intrigue. Plan and execute coordinated strategies using each character's unique abilities, from Cooper's knives and revolvers to Hector's traps, McCoy's gadgets, Kate's deception, and Isabel's powers across environments like towns, swamps, and riverbanks. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, the Dragon's Lair trilogy is a collection of classic interactive movie-style adventures where players guide heroes through perilous quests filled with quick-time decisions and animated set pieces. Experience Dragon's Lair, Space Ace, and Dragon's Lair 2 Time Warp with branching paths, fast reactions, and cinematic gameplay as you battle dragons, evil commanders, and time-warping villains to save the day. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $7, 85% off, Deus Ex Mankind Divided Deluxe Edition is a cyberpunk action RPG where players control a mechanically augmented agent navigating a world divided by prejudice, crime, and conspiracy. The Deluxe Edition includes the Season Pass, an extra in-game mission, and the Covert Agent Pack, providing additional story content, unique augmentations, and special equipment that enhance gameplay strategy and replayability. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Thumper is a brutal rhythm action game where players control a space beetle racing through a hellish void at blistering speeds while confronting a terrifying giant head from the future. Smash through punishing obstacles, master precise controls, and survive intense boss battles as every movement syncs with a pounding soundtrack, creating a chaotic, immersive, and adrenaline-filled experience playable in both 2D and VR. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $7, 75% off, The Surge 2 is a challenging sci-fi action RPG where you awaken in the ruined Jericho City after a plane crash, forced to survive amid martial law, rogue machines, and a growing nanostorm outbreak. Explore a sprawling urban environment, engage in precise, unforgiving melee combat, and target enemy limbs to harvest gear while upgrading your exosuit, implants, and drones to take on powerful, imposing bosses. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $6, 85% off, Mass Effect Andromeda Recruit Edition is a massive sci-fi action RPG where you play as the Pathfinder, leading humanity's mission to find a new home in the uncharted Andromeda galaxy amidst political intrigue, alien threats, and dangerous exploration. This edition includes the Turian Soldier multiplayer recruit pack, adding exclusive weapons, armor, boosts, and gear to help you thrive in cooperative online battles. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Omen Sight is an action-packed murder mystery where players take on the role of the Harbinger, a mythical warrior who appears during times of crisis to prevent the apocalypse. In the war-torn land of Auralia, witness the destruction caused by a dark god, then relive the final day to investigate, confront key characters, and use your Omen Sight powers to uncover secrets, influence events, and reshape the fate of the world. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $7, 75% off, Battle Chasers Night Wars, a turn-based RPG inspired by classic console titles, where players explore dungeons, battle enemies using the overcharged mana system and battle bursts, and uncover a story-rich overworld filled with puzzles and hidden treasures. Build a party from 6 iconic heroes, craft powerful items, and face rare bosses in randomly generated adventures inspired by the best-selling Battle Chasers comic series. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 70 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Wild Guns Reloaded is a fast-paced arcade shooter blending Wild West action with steampunk flair, where players control Clint, Annie, Doris, or Bullet the dog with his sentry drone. Dodge, dive, and shoot through waves of enemies, face deadly bosses, and collect power-ups while using unique character abilities, mastering new weapons, and unlocking hidden secrets in solo or 4-player co-op action. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $7, 65% off, Yomawari Midnight Shadows is a horror adventure game and the follow-up to the 2016 cult hit Yomawari Night Alone, where players guide 2 new girls, Yui and Haru, through a night filled with spirits and unseen terrors. Explore eerie locations, solve environmental puzzles, and confront haunting supernatural threats while testing your courage, wits, and survival skills in a suspenseful, atmospheric journey to reunite the separated girls. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $6, 70% off, Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous Enhanced Edition is an epic RPG where players rise as the mythic hero, battling demons, shaping nations, and exploring a dark, immersive world full of peril. Choose from 25 classes, 12 races, and thousands of spells, feats, and abilities, recruit companions, and face moral dilemmas, uncover secrets, and confront powerful foes while forging your own legendary path through the world wound. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 350 hours to platinum. For $6, 60% off, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon Classic Edition is a retro-futuristic action shooter where players take on the role of a cyber commando on a mission to stop a dystopian nuclear threat. Explore a neon-soaked open-world island, battle enemies, and complete story-driven missions while encountering over-the-top villains, bizarre technology, and hidden collectibles scattered throughout the chaotic terrain. It's an 83 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $10, 50% off, Rabi Ribi is a charming yet challenging 2D exploration platformer where players control Arena, a rabbit turned human, alongside her cheerful fairy companion, Ribbon. Navigate non-linear levels, master close quarters combat with Arena and ranged attacks with Ribbon, face over 40 intense bullet hell boss battles, unlock over 50 upgrades, discover hidden secrets, and tackle challenging secret game modes for maximum fun. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, and some broken trophies make the platinum unobtainable. For $8, 60% off, Mega Man X Legacy Collection 2 is a remastered action-packed collection featuring Mega Man X5, 6, 7, and 8, where players control X with his arm cannon or Zero with his energy saber to blast and slash through challenging stages. Test your skills in X Challenge mode, explore a huge museum of rare production art and nostalgic merchandise, and watch an animated prequel film revealing the origins of Sigma, the iconic villain. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $10, 60% off, Below is a dark, atmospheric action-adventure where players explore a vast underworld of ever-shifting labyrinths filled with deadly monsters, cunning traps, and a mysterious, shadowy presence. Craft remedies and tools to survive the depths, face brutal hazards and fearsome beasts, and choose between Explore mode for a more accessible journey or Survive mode for the ultimate test of skill, planning, and instincts. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Devil May Cry 5 Deluxe and Virgil is a high-octane action game where demon hunters Dante, Nero, and Virgil battle a demonic invasion threatening humanity with over-the-top, stylish combat. Chain fluid combos, switch between weapons and devil breakers, master multiple fighting styles, and enjoy bonus deluxe content including extra music tracks, powerful weapons, and the playable Virgil with his own challenging moveset. It's an 88 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 70 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution is a digital card battler that lets you relive over 20 years of Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime history from the original series through Vrains with updated mechanics and visuals. You'll build decks from over 10,000 cards, duel iconic characters across multiple story campaigns, and master modern mechanics like link summoning while tackling tutorials, reverse duels, and varied challenge modes. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 90 hours to platinum. For $8, 65% off, Gory Cuddly Carnage is a fast-paced hack-and-slash action game where you play as a deadly synthetic cat battling a twisted army of mutated toys to save the galaxy. Grind, spin, and unleash brutal combos with your sentient hoverboard while exploring wild levels, fighting bizarre enemies, and upgrading abilities as you master high-score combo chains, avoid environmental hazards, and take on massive, chaotic boss encounters. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $9, 65% off, Assault Suit Lanos 2 Saturn Tribute is a classic 90s-style mecha side-scrolling shooter making its Western debut, where you pilot a customizable assault suit in a war between the Zenith Federation and the Republic of Sandler. Battle through 7 action-packed stages, upgrade weapons and loadouts, and switch between auto and manual aiming, while taking on waves of mechanized enemies with a camera system that adapts to your setup. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $5, 60% off, South of the Circle is a cinematic narrative adventure where you play as Peter, a Cambridge academic stranded in Cold War Antarctica as his past and relationships unfold. Make emotional choices, explore a richly detailed setting, and experience a deeply personal story through motion-captured performances, shifting timelines, and a focus on love, ambition, and the consequences of life's decisions. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $8, 20% off, Prison City is a retro-inspired side-scrolling action shooter where you play as ex-cop Hal Bruiser fighting through a crime-ridden dystopian Detroit with an arsenal of weapons. Battle across zones like sewers, factories, and nature preserves while dodging hazards, defeating enemies, and taking on bosses, all while uncovering upgrades that enhance your combat abilities and performance. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, and I'm not sure about trophy difficulty or time to 100% as it's such a small sample size. For $8, 60% off, Tomb Raider Legend is a classic action-adventure that blends exploration, combat, and puzzle solving into a globe-trotting journey filled with danger and mystery. Travel across remote locations as Lara Croft, battling enemies, navigating deadly traps, and solving environmental puzzles, while uncovering hidden relics and secrets tied to a legendary artifact and her past, using acrobatic platforming and fluid movement. It's an 82 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $10, 35% off, Runner is a fast-paced, first-person arcade driving shooter inspired by late 1980s anime, where you engage in high-speed motorcycle combat against relentless enemy forces. Dodge and deflect incoming fire, unleash missiles and grenades, and chain together combos, while mastering 360-degree shooting, upgrading your weapons, and taking on intense boss encounters across procedurally generated levels. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $7, 50% off, Jak 3 is a classic platforming action-adventure that serves as the explosive finale to the trilogy, expanding its scope and scale as Jak and Daxter are exiled into the brutal wasteland after being cast out of Haven City. With dark and light Jak powers, expanded gunplay and vehicle combat, and a journey spanning the wasteland and Haven City, it wraps up the trilogy by answering the mysteries about the precursors and Mar. It's an 85 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $7, 30% off, Void Terrarium is a roguelike adventure where you control a scrapped janitorial robot trying to keep a defenseless human girl alive in a post-apocalyptic world filled with ruins, hazards, and remnants of humanity. Explore procedurally generated wasteland levels, gather food, medicine, and crafting materials, and confront hostile creatures and rogue robots while managing the girl's health, upgrading equipment, and making strategic decisions. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $8, 35% off, Final Fantasy II is a remastered 2D RPG where 4 orphans join heroes like Minwu, Prince Gordon, and Layla to fight the Palamecian Empire and uncover a story of friendship, fate, and adventure. Explore updated pixel environments, experience rearranged music by Nobuo Uematsu, and engage in the unique skill-based leveling system while customizing gameplay with auto battle, random encounter adjustments, and supplemental extras. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $9, 55% off, Tentacular is a charming physics-based puzzle adventure where you inhabit the giant body of a tentacle monster raised by the quirky townsfolk of La Calma, a remote island full of inventive challenges. With over 60 mind-bending puzzles, playful construction tools, and the free Island Builder expansion to create your own settlements, it blends humor and VR gameplay into a heartwarming journey. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, and I'm not sure about trophy difficulty or time to platinum as it's such a small sample size. For $7, 85% off, Ride 5 is a hardcore motorcycle racing simulator delivering an intense, authentic experience where every corner, straightaway, and braking zone feels brutally real. Race across over 35 tracks on over 200 meticulously recreated motorcycles from world-famous manufacturers, mastering advanced physics, dynamic weather, and deep bike handling systems that demand precision and constant adaptation across career, endurance, and custom race modes. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 270 hours to platinum. For $7, 70% off, Insurmountable is a roguelike adventure where you attempt to scale massive, procedurally generated mountains while battling hunger, exhaustion, and the brutal forces of nature. Each climb features shifting weather, day-night cycles, and hundreds of unpredictable events, as you choose from 3 distinct characters with unique skills and build your abilities through a progression system that makes every decision critical. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, and some broken trophies make the platinum unobtainable. For $5, 65% off, La Mulana is a challenging action-adventure game where you play archaeologist Lameza Kasugi exploring ancient ruins filled with traps, puzzles, and deadly guardians. Solve intricate puzzles, avoid lethal traps, and battle formidable enemies while uncovering the mysteries behind the secret treasure of life, discovering hidden lore, collecting powerful artifacts, and testing your wits, reflexes, and courage at every turn. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $9, 55% off, Railway Empire is a business simulation where you build and manage a sprawling rail network across the United States, connecting cities and transporting passengers and goods. Optimize routes, acquire over 40 locomotives and 30 wagons, compete against rival companies, and use bandits or spies to gain the upper hand, while enjoying the ride-along feature to experience your network from the driver's cab. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $6, 70% off, Knights of Pen and Paper Plus One Deluxe Year Edition is a turn-based pixel art RPG where you control both the players and their characters in a meta pen and paper adventure. Manage your party, choose classes like knights or mages, and complete quests while defeating monsters, collecting loot, and exploring dungeons with strategic decisions guided by the Game Master, upgrading heroes, and uncovering hidden secrets. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $6, 70% off, Deadcraft Deluxe Edition is a zombie survival action game where you play as half-zombie Reed, fighting the undead while managing resources and loyal allies in a dangerous post-apocalyptic world. Grow your own zombie workers, scavenge for weapons and tools, and craft post-apocalyptic cuisine, while completing missions, upgrading abilities, and battling both humans and massive hordes across the wasteland. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $6, 70% off, Gorn is a ludicrously violent VR gladiator simulator where players step into the arena to unleash creative, chaotic, and over-the-top combat fantasies. Players savagely battle opponents using swords, maces, and bows while mastering physics-driven interactions and executing brutal takedowns, all while improvising with the environment, timing attacks perfectly, and finding inventive ways to dominate foes. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $8, 20% off, Duck Detective: The Secret Salami is a cozy mystery adventure where you play as a down-on-his-luck duck detective unraveling a sinister sausage-based conspiracy in a quirky, whimsical world. Explore vibrant neighborhoods full of oddball characters, gather crucial clues from strange and amusing locations, and piece together evidence using your sharp deductive reasoning to solve twisty, entertaining cases. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 3 hours to platinum. For $6, 50% off, Doctor Who: The Lonely Assassins is a chilling found phone mystery where you uncover sinister events connected to the Weeping Angels, first seen in the iconic Blink episode. Work alongside ex-unit scientist Petronella Osgood, investigate an abandoned London house, and decipher hidden clues in messages, emails, and photos to uncover the truth while avoiding the terrifying, ever-present threat of the Angels. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 3 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off, Let's Revolution is a roguelite puzzle strategy game where you chase the corrupt king across the land of B-Bomb, combining turn-based tactics with logic-based tile puzzles. Choose from 6 unique heroes with distinct abilities, outsmart cunning enemies and tricky lackeys, and collect powerful items and abilities, while exploring a beautifully hand-animated world filled with secrets and brought to life alongside an original score. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $8, 70% off, the Nobody Saves the World in Frozen Hearth bundle is a shape-shifting action RPG where you transform into forms like horse, zombie, and robot to stop the vile calamity. Mix and match abilities across hundreds of quests, explore a vast overworld, and tackle dozens of challenging dungeons, while the Frozen Hearth expansion adds new forms, puzzles, and epic boss fights to test your creativity and skill. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off, Pryman Mercenary Tales is a whimsical fantasy action adventure where you embark on 8 epic quests filled with sword fights, ancient puzzles, and daring escapades. Explore mysterious ruins, vibrant castles, and fantastical landscapes while wielding unconventional historical weapons, uncovering hidden secrets, and enjoying the humorous banter of quirky characters in beautifully rendered comic book style visuals. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, and there's a broken trophy making the platinum unobtainable. For $8, 20% off, Duck Detective: The Ghost of Glamping is a cozy mystery adventure where you play Eugene McQuacklin, a down-on-his-luck duck detective investigating a haunted campsite while confronting personal woes. Interview eccentric suspects, inspect unusual evidence, and collaborate with a quirky new sidekick to uncover hidden clues, solve twisty puzzles, and unravel a ghostly mystery in a fully voice-acted, humor-filled world. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 3 hours to platinum. For $8, 35% off, Final Fantasy is a classic turn-based JRPG rebuilt as a modern pixel remaster that faithfully reintroduces the series' foundational story, mechanics, and world building for a new generation of players. With flexible class switching, a vast overworld featuring airship travel, and quality-of-life upgrades like auto-battle and encounter toggles, it preserves the original structure while smoothing out its rough edges. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off, Kona 2 Broom is a suspenseful detective adventure set in northern Quebec, 1970, where a mysterious mist called the Broom disconnects a rural mining village from reality and disrupts the balance of nature. Explore snowy landscapes on your trusty dog sled, investigate abandoned buildings and scattered clues, and survive harsh blizzards, dangerous wildlife, and unsettling nightmares while uncovering the dark truth behind the broom. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. Alright, that's it for today's list, everybody. If you've played any of these already, drop your thoughts in the comments. Your insights help others find great games too, it's not just mine. As always, I want to thank all my channel members for their generous support, but to all you out there who watch, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff as well, thank you. You're the reason I'm still having fun making all these videos every day, and I'm genuinely grateful for each and every one of you out there. If you can spare $1 a month, you get early access to all my videos, and it helps me out more than you know. But I know times are tough out there, so all I do ask is if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with any new sales stuff that